Well, first of all, to get to a level of success, you obviously have challenges, but also there is a motivator. There's something internal that keeps you going when you have obstacles. What is your internal motivator? Where did it come from?
I think I've always just been a deeply curious and restless person. I
Yes.
hate not knowing how things work. I need to understand.
Yeah.
And that sort of endless curiosity that children have, I think I just never grew out of it, right?
I
So
love that.
it's this issue of taking that mindset into the entrepreneur community and be able to help so many entrepreneurs through the investment side, which I've done for a lot of my career.
Yeah.
But also understanding that as people are on that journey themselves, you're there to help them with that discovery,
Yeah.
right? Working with them, asking them the right questions, because entrepreneurs have a lot of self-discovery to go through. They need a lot of support along the way, whether that's through accelerators, that's through the investors who work with them. And it really does take a village of people questioning, asking, having them reassess, and being part of somebody else's learning journey is such an amazing experience as well.
Yes. What have been some challenges along the way in your career?
There's been a lot. I think one of the hardest things was going into the venture. I came from the large end of the market, private equity, and I had been based working in Asia, where as a woman who spoke Chinese, because I had lived and worked there, I was used to being an outsider.
Yeah.
What I wasn't used to is when I came back to Canada, I felt a little bit even more of an outsider
Wow.
coming into the venture capital community, because there were so few women
Yeah.
in the early days, right? And, joining that community and understanding that a lot of the founder community was very male-oriented, that the capital allocators, the fund managers were very male. I saw that we were missing out in how we looked at deals because we didn't have a diversity of views around the table. So I would be asking questions that other people wouldn't have occurred to them, right? And it really reinforced to me the importance of having in a diversity of people with different backgrounds, whether those are socioeconomic, whether they're racial, whether they have to do with coming from a completely different culture, because that's how you get good, I think, dialogue and debate
Yeah.
on what it is that makes a good company, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's how we've managed to. I mean, look around at a conference like this. NACO would have looked very different 10 years ago. Look at the diversity of the ages, racially, gender-wise, an extraordinary range of, entrepreneurs out there now, which means they're all coming with their own take on the market. And they're coming with their own view on what is that solution I need to build
Yeah.
for the thing that I want to address in my community. And that's amazing, because that means you've got a far better range of companies to work with if you're an investor. But it also means you're tapping into this whole intellectual power of
Yeah.
this community that up to now has been ignored, right? So that's what I find inspiring about working with founders who are coming from very diverse backgrounds.
Yeah. When you're getting ready to invest in the next big idea and you meet that founder, what are some green flags and some red flags that you can spot?
I think, in my current role now as CEO of MaRS, I think one of the things I try to do is still stay very in touch with founders and with the investment community, because you really do have to understand how founders are thinking, right? Every generation has different motivations. I think a great green flag is people who come with passion, people who come inspired with something they really want to solve.
Yes.
I think a red flag for me is somebody who is not open to learning, in the sense that they have a very fixed take on something and they're not necessarily aware of their shortcomings and where they can improve. Because everybody who is in a position of trying to build a company, or you're investing in a company, you just don't have all those answers.
Yeah.
You need to be working with a group of people out there who can provide different strengths that you don't have. And having that humility and that openness to listen and absorb, that's what you look for. And if you don't find that in a founder or in an investor, I get worried.
Yeah. What is a day in your life like? What does it look like?
Hopefully not the same every day.
But you wake up at what time?
Probably wake up at about 6.
Oh, my goodness.
Work out.
You work out? You going to work out in?
You know, like, you know,
Yes.
you've got to do what you got to do to fit it in your day.
Yes.
And
For
then
cardio.
cardio,
Okay.
bit of yoga, bit of
Nice.
strength training, do
Yeah.
the whole balance, and then you know, you're just in a much better mood. You head off. You know, it's great. I take the subway, get off at St. George, walk through the great, beautiful campus of U of T on my way to MaRS.
Yeah.
And it's an inspiration, right, to walk through these academic, wonderful buildings and
Yeah.
see these younger students, and then think, okay, this is the community of the next generation of founders that we're
Yeah.
going to see, right?
Yeah.
So it's great, and MaRS is just an amazing convening point for all of these people. You've got academics, you've got deep researchers, you've got medical practitioners there, you've got startups, you've got corporates, and you know, you never know who you're going to run into, right? It feels like
Yeah.
a little mini village all of itself, which is really inspiring, because that's how collision of great moments of people getting together happen.
Yeah. Being the CEO of MaRS, I feel like you're a contributor to the way that Canada gets shaped. There's certain people in this country, in this space, that are really impactful. What are your thoughts on the future of Canada?
I believe that, first of all, thank you for telling us that MaRS can be part of that community that shapes the future.
For sure.
I want to believe that. That's
I
the reason
believe
I
it.
took the job.
Yeah, I believe it.
And I do think that entrepreneurship, and especially innovation economy businesses, are going to be a huge part of shaping our future. So I actually, you know, I know we're going through troubled times in many respects, but again, that is just, to me, the part of the ebb and flow of business cycles, the ebb and flow of the challenges that come by, and they always make you a better business, they make you a better founder, they make you a better investor.
Yeah.
And so I just see it as a challenge in a positive sense. Like, how do we take these difficult times and pull people together so we're even
Yeah.
tighter community?
Yeah.
So we're even more cohesive in how we like to work together
Yeah.
and assess and bring our energies in a much more focused way. I think if you don't do that, you know, you're not taking advantage of those tough times to build the character, which ultimately makes for a successful firm, because we have to globally be successful. It's not
Yeah.
being successful in Canada.
Yeah.
And that's really, really important, to have that resilience that comes through hard times.
Awesome. Well, it was so great talking to you. You're
Yeah.
lovely.
Thank
I'm so inspired.